Because the rabbi needs help.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I know. I sit where my wife sits. That's the way life is.
Time.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. I made it money as I'm going nuts.
And soon you'll be.
I've done a twice this year. And so I'm showing it to our major builders. So we'll see what happens. The last one, construction.
That's to the right of the front door.
And wow, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but I always know so which church
All right.
I'm good.
Sure. You'll walk us through it.
We missed you on Wednesday. Went back to school today. Good.
We'll see how it goes. You never know until you know. That's true. You're going to like it. That's worthwhile.
Been identified by the clergy, although we did consider it. So then I felt that was like a common theme. We have.
Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you
tonight, throughout our service, we're going to be thinking about different ways our eyes are open and different ways our eyes sometimes are closed, even when we don't realize that they are. So you'll notice a theme throughout much of our service, and we're going to sing this song again together, and allow yourself to start pondering ways that you can begin to open your eyes more and you have. Let's take a moment to close our eyes and take a nice deep Shabbat breath in and out. Perhaps allowing yourself to become even more comfortable in your seat, even more present in this moment, so that when you open your eyes again, you feel that much more at home in this moment of Shabbat, this moment of pause, of rest, and of rejuvenation. One more nice deep breath. On Shabbat, of course, the tradition is to not use electrical lights after they've been turned off. And that's one of the reasons that we light Shabbat candles to begin the holiday of Shabbat, is to have a little bit of light, even as the sun sets and darkness descends for the evening. And so we're going to allow that light to enlighten us a little more tonight. And it's a pleasure to invite up Jeff Cohen and Izzy Greenberg and their daughter Eva to help us light the candles. We're on page 120. inviting Shabbat in. And the mystics, the Kabbalists, invented a part of our service called Kabbalat Shabbat. You hear that Kabbalah word in there as a way to help us receive Shabbat a little bit more on Friday night. And so we do one part of it usually when we sing Lecha Dodi, which is on page 138, and allow it to help you bring even more Shabbat into the space.
remain standing and take a moment to greet the people nearest to you. Wish them a Shabbat Shalom.
I'm going to tell you, Kachas, that Rebecca a stranger used to have this in mind. Who is that?
Let's stay standing and turn now to page 144 for the Chatzi Kaddish. Ma'ariv Aravim on page 148 is a prayer which speaks of light and dark, day and night, coming from God. We don't have a dualistic religion where darkness and nighttime and even things like evil are assigned to another force. Instead, we have a religion, a faith tradition that says all of this is part of God's universe, the one God. And perhaps when we open our eyes to that, we are even more aware of the choices we have within God's universe. What do we open our eyes to? What do we choose to see? How do we choose to interact with our world? And to what do we close our eyes, whether for positive or even less or more destructive reasons? And so we take this moment in Ma'ariv Aravim, we recognize God's creation to see the ways in which God has created it all. Let's read together on the top of 149. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course to eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai ha'ma'ariv aravim. Beit Yisrael, Torah mitzvot ukim mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, v'shafeinu would you please read the English on 155 for all of us? Is that okay?
That's fine.
Thank you.
Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside the gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God.
Thank you. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. What does that mean? Anybody have any thoughts about that? What is it? What is the them? And what does that mean to keep them in the forefront of your vision?
Is it me or not?
Okay, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, you have the filling in front of your forehead.
Nice. So the
That's
rabbis,
physical part.
yeah, the rabbis long ago took it quite literally. And they said, well, we're not exactly sure what this means, but let's create something that we're going to place on our foreheads to keep right there, literally in front of our vision to remind us of God's teachings, right? So that is the physical. So, yeah, tefillin. If we go to the next step, what does it mean to keep them in front of your vision, or at the forefront of your vision? Any other thoughts? Yeah, definitely.
To think about everything you do based on these words. Think about your actions based on the commandments of Adonai.
So for you, the idea of vision is a thinking. It's to engage this part of your body. Nice.
Like look at it as like a lens, looking through a lens.
So God's mitzvot, maybe, or these values are the lens through which we see and through which we act in the world. Nice. Other thoughts? Do you feel like there are times when you keep these words at the forefront of your vision, or likewise, are there times when you don't keep these words at the forefront of your vision? Those are some knowing laughs. So as we're continuing tonight to think about the ways we open our eyes, the way we close our eyes, let's think about what God and mitzvot add to this idea of awareness, of being awake, and also the idea of closing our eyes and being perhaps missing something in our path. Let's turn now to a song all about taking a path that was scary. And that was, of course, walking through the dry land of the sea to freedom. And what a terrifying but exciting moment that must have been. And we're going to sing it from Miriam's point of view. So let's go to page 646 for Miriam's song. 646.
And the wind
Been dancing with that timbrels
followed Miriam as she sang her song, singing a song to the one whom we've exalted. Miriam and the women danced and danced the whole night long. Miriam was a weaver of unique variety. The tapestry she wove was one which sang our history.
Page 160, we'll join together in the English. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. V'shamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat v'dor v'nei olam v'shamru Page 164 for the beginning of the tefillah. Please rise.
That my mouth may declare U'kedoshim b'chol yom yadlu chasela, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. We continue silently now through page 180. You may be seated when you have finished your prayers.
The entire world is a very narrow bridge. Va'ikar lo lefached klal. And the important thing, despite the fact that it's a narrow bridge, the important thing is not to be afraid. So, you know, we're up here kind of swaying on that narrow bridge. You know, our footing gets a little shaky sometimes. And how do you not be afraid? How do you recognize that there are parts of the world that really feel like a narrow bridge? Sometimes I picture a solid bridge. Sometimes the picture in my head is almost like a rope bridge, you know, where some of the slats are missing or cracked, you know, and you're holding on, like in all the adventure movies, you know, trying to get to the other side, or maybe Shrek and a dinosaur, and I don't think it's a dragon, or maybe a dragon. Yeah, the dragon. Oh, lady dragon. Okay, so. When we think about perspective, when we think about the times that our eyes are open and the times that our eyes are closed, so much of it comes down to perspective and to perception. What is our attitude going into certain situations? The reality is there are times in our lives when things are scary. There are times when things are really hard, really painful. But what do we do in that moment? Do we give in to the fear? Sometimes yes. And there is something really to be said for acknowledging when we feel that fear and that pain and that sadness or struggle. But what do we do to keep our eyes open to the possibilities that are also in that same moment? Crossing over that narrow bridge, there's something on the other side. And who knows what it could be? Who knows if we can even see it when we're in the midst of taking care of every single step? But the other side is there. And my prayer for you tonight, as we, even in a few moments, look at tonight's Torah portion, that we all give ourselves the opportunity to, yes, acknowledge how narrow that bridge can be, but also allow ourselves to see the other side and all that it might promise for us. We'll take a few moments to offer our prayers of healing, our prayers of love and care that we send to members of our community, to family members of people in our community, and to even to people out there in the world who need comfort tonight. Tonight we are especially thinking of Reagan Konecki, John D. Nicola, Nancy Schwam, Sam Rosenblum, Miriam Swidler, Simon Alexander Petty, Larry Mancini, Charles Sabat, Debbie Clymer, Layla Phillips, Burl Bellows, Josephine Stricker, Cindy Rashald, Dovid Ben Meir, Arthur Myers, Iris Clark, Stacy Reed, Tony Regano, and Benny Pear. Who are you thinking of tonight? Who are you sending your prayers for a refuah shalema to, and you'd like to share a name out loud? Yishaberach Avraham, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov, v'Imotenu Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Rachel, v'Yivarech, v'Yirakeh, et kol v'cholim ha'ela. May the one who blessed all of our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, bless and heal all those who are ill. We pray, God, that they find a return to wellness, to wholeness, to shlemut, peacefulness, and that they are able to find a healing of mind and body and spirit. Baruch atah Adonai rofeh cholim. We praise you, God, who cares for the sick. And let us say together, Amen. Let's join together in Misha Berach on page 371.
Before
escaped danger in some way, or who have traveled abroad and have come back home safely. And so on behalf of all those in our community who have experienced those wonderful gifts, we praise you, God, who allows good things to happen in the world around us. And let us all say together, Amen. And of course, thank goodness, we have smachot, we have simchas, happy occasions to celebrate as well. Does anybody have anything they want to share tonight? Birthdays, anniversaries, anything good? Yeah, you got one?
16th was their anniversary.
It was their anniversary?
Anniversary.
Happy anniversary! And many, many more, and love and joy and good health. Congratulations. Thank you for pointing at them. It wasn't just, this one and this one, it was the two-hander.
Well, while we're here, Eva also happened to get a gold medal in her Kung Fu tournament and then win the Grand Champion trophy last weekend. So watch out.
So she got a gold medal in a Kung Fu tournament?
Yes.
And then got the Grand Champion
That's right.
trophy?
Wow.
Eva, you are now hired to be our security here in the synagogue. Look out. Awesome. Congratulations. I hope you continue enjoying it and doing well. It's terrific. What else? I was away last Shabbat. As you know, I had the privilege of taking part in the installation. We always joke, what does that mean? Is it like a light bulb? Is it like, appliance? The installation of my brother Adam as a rabbi at his congregation in St. Louis. He is the assistant rabbi there in a congregation that has never had an assistant rabbi. And so it's so exciting. It's a new position. It's a new clergy partnership with his senior rabbi, who's a wonderful woman named Rabbi Brigitte Rosenberg, and their cantor, a man named Ken Eicher, actually grew up in my home synagogue in Skokie. So, all these cool connections, and he swears he has sung with my mother at some point. And so I had a chance to take part in the installation. As you might remember from installations you've attended here, I had a chance to give a Devar Torah, and then we sang a song together, which was really nice. And the piece that we do, the Oseh Shalom that we do of his on my holidays, and then I got to be a part of blessing him officially. So it was just really lovely and such an honor. Hard not to fell and cry the whole time. So thank you for allowing me to go and be part of that and then come back and join me. So other simchas?
We had a birth. My grandson just turned 1 on October 15th, but we celebrated it last Sunday. It was a beautiful day, sandwiched in between all the birthdays. So they had a lot of friends and
So 1 year old, singular. Did he have a smash cake?
No, what was very talented. She knits and she bakes, so she made some very cute cupcakes.
Oh,
yes, one with blue frosting. So
oh,
he wore it well.
Oh, excellent. Excellent. Very good.
Yeah. Smash cupcake.
Smash cupcake.
Yes.
Oh, it's this crazy phenomenon of having 1 year-olds just kind of smash the cake in their faces, and they all take pictures and love it. Yeah, awesome.
Yes.
Yay, picture. Anyone else?
Do they have those for adults too?
Beth, you're going to start it, and you're going to put it on Pinterest, and it'll become a phenomenon.
Yes.
Okay, so tonight I would like to share with you some words of Torah. Vayomer Adonai el Avram, lech lecha, me'artzecha, u'mimoladetecha, u'mibeit avicha, el haaretz, asher areka. Adonai said to Abram, go forth, lech lecha, from your native land, from your father's house, to the land that I will show you. This is really the first moment we have a chance to meet Abraham in any kind of substantial way. And we hear this call. God saying in so many words, literally in so many words, go forth. Go from this place. Go from this place where your father dwells. Go from your native land, where you're comfortable, where your people have been, and go to this new place that I'm going to show you. God promises, Ve'escha l'goy gadol, va'avarechecha ve'agadla shemecha ve'yehei bracha. I'll make of you a great nation. I will bless you. I will make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. You will be a blessing. So I invite you to take a second and think about your own life and your own journey. And times when, whether you like it or not, you've had to leave a place that is comfortable. Maybe even a place where you've been a long time, or your family has been a long time. And maybe there are promises of something great, maybe there weren't. But you had to lech, to go. I think as well, just thinking through these moments in the service that we highlighted tonight, the Israelites, for instance, leaving slavery and having no idea what was ahead, but walking through that crazy, miraculous sea that parted. I think about Moses, even earlier in the story, noticing a burning bush. One of the rabbis said that maybe that bush had been sitting there burning all along. Moses was just the first person to actually notice it. So here's Abraham, who we identify as the first Jew. This is the third Torah portion of the Torah. We already had creation, so we had Adam and Eve in there. Last week was Noah. And now we're at the first Jew, Abraham, who's an analogy just Abraham, being told to go forth. So when you have been told to go forth, and it might be that narrow bridge, how have you kept sight of the other side? Would anyone like to share anything about that?
I think so, you can't see the other side, and it's just putting one foot in front of the other.
So I don't know if you could hear what Michelle just said. Sometimes you just can't see the other side, and so you just keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep moving. Yeah. How do you maintain the will to do that? Not that you guys have an answer, but
Churchill said, if you're going through hell, keep going.
so Churchill said, if you're going through hell, keep going. Huh. Other thoughts about this, about if you're on that bridge, or you're going forth and you don't know where you're going to wind up. You maybe didn't choose this going forth. Even if you did, it doesn't make it easy. Yeah, do you want to?
I could share a personal story.
If you don't mind, that would be wonderful.
If you don't mind. I was living in a...
Do you want a microphone?
I'll talk loud.
Okay.
I was living in an older home in Knowing and trying to struggle through for 10 years on my own. And there were these signs that were telling me it's time to go. And I knew it was time to go, but I needed the incentive. So bats started showing up in my house repeatedly. And I did every action imaginable to try to eliminate the bats with roof repairs and replacement and very expensive things like that. And then shortly after the roof was all squared away, bats were still coming back, but we still couldn't figure out how they were getting in. Then my home was burglarized and lost many valuable my father's signet ring that he had taken out of Czechoslovakia. And all these treasures were taken. And, you know, just the labor of maintaining an older house. And so I knew I had to get out, but I was waiting for the right set of circumstances. And just, you know, that incentive combined with my kids encouraging me to move closer to them. I finally did it. It was not easy, but if it had not been for the bats and the burglary, I may still be struggling in that big old drafty Tudor style home. So those were signs for me that it was time to go.
And how much easier it might have been in some ways to stay, or to be inert almost.
It would have been easier to remain, and, you know, taxes were saying it's not a good idea. The property taxes were also quite steep.
So you heard that lech for female is lechi, and you went.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Well, it would have been much harder if I didn't have a plan in place of where I was going to end up, because I'm not one of those people who can wander in the desert for 4 years. And that would not have worked for me. But,
Wow, thank you for sharing that. Anyone else have a tale of going? Yes, you.
Sometimes you have to wait to be guided. 3 times. 3 times I had opportunities before I was 30 to come to this country. Twice I turned them down. And in the third one, I thought to myself, what am I doing? Where am I going next? And then
So, I don't know if everyone had a chance to hear. You had 2 other opportunities to come to America, turned them down. The third one, you decided that was the time to go, and you met this one right here. And then you stayed. Wow, incredible. And so that's an interesting aspect of it, is when the call maybe comes, and you ignore it a couple of times because of the bats, or, you know, but it's gonna, you know, maybe it keeps knocking and keeps nudging or kicking us in the buttocks or something. Yeah.
I've always wondered with the generation of my grandparents if their very close familiarity with Lech Lecha, Rebecca saying, Elech, I will go. If, you know, how much of that made it easier for them to do exactly the same thing? My mother's father was a boy. He came with his parents. He was 9 years old. My father's father and my father's mother were teenagers, and they left by themselves. They left their families. They left their countries. They didn't know what they were going to find. They knew more or less where they were going. Yeah, it's just, it's so hard to see that kind of spirit in you know, 14-year-old kids now. Different kind of adventure, different kind of expression of individualism, perhaps, but not the sense of pick up and go. And my grandfather was a little older. He was 17. My grandmother was 13. Obviously, they knew each other.
So to have the wherewithal, the awareness, you're going to go. And with or without a threat, perhaps.
I mean, they had great difficulties where they were. The boundary lands of Poland and Russia, after the supposed peace of Brest-Litovsk, was an absolute chaos of everyone fighting everyone else, and this time Jews had guns too. And my grandfather said, this is crazy, I'm going to Argentina. It's an interesting solution, but you know, you wonder when the voice calls, how do you know it's authentic?
What a nice question.
And
Is there a real call?
yeah, and I remember as we're sitting outside, my son and I were sitting outside the chambers of the judge in Sao Paulo, who was about to actually stamp the paper. And I just said to him, do you really want to leave? Do you really want to do this? And I mean, he just looked at me with this stupid look on his face, like, what kind of idiotic question is that? You know, it wasn't just that I showed up and offered him something better. There was something in him there was that readiness to go. The story that we get never, I mean, Abraham has no response. He just gets up and goes. And
Though Rashi posits that there might be
right, but you know, and we don't have the scene where he says to his wife, hey, guess what I just heard?
Yeah.
You know, they just go.
Yeah, what do you think? Should we do this? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, we have a few more years on the
Right. Should we sell the camel or ride the camel? You know?
Right. So interesting to think about how having this story in our people's story might impact the way we receive some of these calls. Certainly for people more versed in it than we might be in our lives. Thank you for sharing that. Anyone else want to share a lechin, the time you went? I just, at the risk of sounding cheesy, I'm glad I came here. I think I've shared this with you before, but Seth and I, through the difficulty of the search process, especially being very pregnant at the time, our motto was to trust the process. And in saying that, which plenty of people say in other circumstances, we were allowing for a calling. We were allowing for a message to come forth that this was, you know, one of these choices was going to be the right choice for us. And that was where we were meant to go for our next chapter. And so being open to that, and being open to receiving that message, and it might be a readiness, right? How much of it is on our end and how much of it is on the sender's end, if that's God, if you believe it's God. And the, you know, kind of symbiosis between the two. So that was what our experience was with coming here, with feeling that call. So, was there anyone else who wanted to share anything? Then my wish for you, in honor of the call of Lech Lecha, is to allow yourselves to hear those messages, to be open to them, to open your eyes to them. And that sometimes when things are hard, maybe it's because you are on that bridge, but there is another side that is awaiting you. And I pray for you the strength, the bravery, the stamina and endurance to get through those harder times so that you too, or your loved ones, are able to make it to that new promised land. Can you hear what's on? May it be God's will. Amen. Thank you for sharing your stories. Open up our eyes. Teach us how to live. Fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as friends, a few announcements. This coming Sunday, there are a few really exciting things happening. At 9:30 a.m., the Rabbi's Book Club is starting. We're going to be looking all year at a wonderful book called The New Jewish Feminism. And each part of it is examining different areas of Jewish life and the impact that women have had on it. It is for everybody. It is open to everybody. We have a couple more copies available in the office, but it's also easily purchasable at your favorite bookstore or online purveyor of books. Even if you haven't read it in advance of this week, I do encourage you to come if you're able to. 9:30, again, open to everybody. Then at 11 o'clock, once you have fed your spirit, then you can feed your tummy by coming to our challah baking workshop with Sam Cantro, our member, who will be teaching us. You may have joined us for our bagel event last year. This year he's teaching us how to make challah, and our Hebrew students will be in there too, learning how to bake challah. So it's going to be this big, wonderful event. You either know if you're going to get to be in there. I'm sorry, but I'm supposed to say, don't tell. Okay. Don't tell your sister. No, you can tell your sister. Oh, you're not going to be there? Oh, maybe they can bring home some challah for you. No? I don't know. We'll send it via carrier agent, but it's a little heavy.
We'll keep it frozen and freeze it for you.
There. So there is a fee for the challah baking workshop, and so it's $18 or $36 depending on how long you come. So if you are interested, you haven't signed up yet, you'll probably be able to take care of that at the door. Then next Friday night at 7:30 p.m. for our Erev Shabbat service, Meg will be with us on piano, and we will be offering a special blessing to our congregation's travelers to Israel. Our trip is leaving on the evening of the 27th. Shelley and Stephen are going with us, and a number of other congregants. It's going to be terrific. We can't wait to come back and tell you all about it. So we'll be offering a blessing to our travelers as well next Friday night. So then, as I said, our trip will be going October 27th through November 6th. So I will be away during that time. If there are any issues, of course, you can always call the main office or our wonderful cantor, Melinda. Then on Saturday the 27th, you are warmly invited to join with Bella Fishman and family in the celebration of her bat mitzvah. Everyone is always welcome to come to those services. They are terrific. And so that's at 10:30 a.m. that Saturday. Also, coming up on November 11th, we have an art opening and books and bagels, and because of the topic, we're calling it Art and Books and Bellinis. Everybody know what a bellini is? It's kind of like a crepe with inside yumminess, kind of like a blintz almost, right? And so keep an eye out for more information about that wonderful event. The artist and the author are brother and sister, and so they're coming and presenting together. Finally, please note that our Fountain Hill Cemetery expansion has begun, and we are continuing to take reservations for the 200 brand new plots that are soon to be available. If you'd like to contact the office for more information, you are welcome to do so. And last but not least, thank you to Izzy and Jeff and family for sponsoring tonight's event. Any other announcements we have missed or left out? Okay. Then let's to our closing prayers, page 586. For Aleinu, please rise.
Shalom,
595. It is hard to sing of oneness when the world is not complete, when those who once brought wholeness to our life have gone, and naught but memory can fill the emptiness their passing leaves behind. But memory can only tell us what we were in company with those we loved. It cannot help us find what each of us alone must now become. Yet no one is really alone. Those who live no more echo still within our thoughts and our words, and what they did is part of what we have become. We do best homage to our dead when we live our lives more fully, even in the shadow of our loss. For each of our lives is worth the life of the whole world. In each one is the breath of the ultimate one. In affirming the one, we affirm the worth of each one whose life, now ended, brought us closer to the source of life, in whose unity no one is alone, and every life finds purpose. Page 598. If the name of a loved one appears on our Shiva or Yortzeit list, and if you are comfortable doing so, I invite you to rise when you hear his or her name, and then to remain standing until we complete the recitation of the names, and then we will all join you for the recitation of the mourner's Kaddish, the Kaddish Yatom. Tonight, we sadly mark the recent passing of Howard Kleinman. We mark the Yortzeits, the anniversaries of death, for Harry Barron, Isaac Barron, Celia Baum, Abraham Lecker, Solomon Ginsberg, George Glassman, Norma Glassman, Beth Gottlieb, Lloyd Levin, Betty Lewitt, Morris Mackover, Libby Peck, Paul Peck, Rita Ruzansky, Nathan Segal, Sam Tillis, and Sarah Zambek. Zichronam Livracha. Who else is marking a Shiva, Shloshim, or Yortzeit for a family member or friend and would like to share a name out loud? May all of the memories of our dearest loved ones always be a blessing to those who love them. Together now, we all rise and we join in the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shnei rabba, v'alma kibarat kirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayecho beit Yisrael, v'agala v'bizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shnei rabba v'barach le'olam le'al maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shnei kudusha b'richu. La'elah mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'yalma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba v'yishemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom v'ramav, u'ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, V'imru, amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel and to all the world, to which we say together, amen.
Let's remain standing for our closing song, which is going to be one more Lechi Lach, for those who are maybe in the middle of a journey, for those who will be taking a journey yet to come. We offer blessings on page 645. Lechi Lach, to a land that I will show you. Lech Lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi Lach, on your journey I will bless
I try so hard.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. Yeah. Huh?
There's a twist in it. It's true. Yes, that's one of the things that change your perspective. So they were coming into says Al Shad Varim. Every time I miss so some of those words might one thing Shabbat was it's okay. So it's familiar. So it means I read things in my house the way I sweat. I know how to do one way they try that we have people in my house. One way breaking a person what is good and what God wants from their house. God wants you to do justice and loving deeds and to walk through the rest of your justice and loving deeds. What do you like?
Well, you just feed the backs to the bears.
Yeah, we're gonna go do Kiddush.
Fine, we'll do it.
What is